For decades, few names in world rugby have carried as much respect as Ma'a Nonu. His career has been defined by relentless determination, incredible power, and an ability to perform when the pressure was at its highest. As a two-time Rugby World Cup champion with the All Blacks, Ma'a Nonu built a legacy that inspired an entire generation of players. Many supporters believed that after an outstanding second spell with RC Toulon, the legendary midfielder was finally preparing to bring the curtain down on one of rugby's greatest careers. Instead, he has stunned the rugby community once again with a move that almost nobody saw coming. At 44 years old, an age when most professional players have long retired, Ma'a Nonu has chosen to continue competing by signing a short-term contract with the Sharks in South Africa. The announcement immediately became one of the biggest stories in international rugby. It wasn't simply because another experienced player had changed clubs. It was because one of New Zealand's greatest ever rugby stars had decided to begin a completely new challenge in Durban. Only a few months earlier, Ma'a Nonu had already shown the sporting world that age was not going to define him. During his second spell with RC Toulon, he became the oldest player ever to feature in both the top 14 and the Investec Champions Cup. While younger stars dominated headlines with their speed and athleticism, Ma'a Nonu quietly reminded everyone that experience, discipline, and rugby intelligence can still compete with youth. Match after match, he demonstrated the same professionalism that had made him one of the finest centers in rugby history. When his contract with Toulon expired, uncertainty surrounded his future. Many believed retirement was finally the logical next step. Reports suggested that Ma'a Nonu returned to New Zealand, where he spent time reflecting on both his career and the opportunities that lay ahead. Several weeks passed before the Sharks approached him with an offer that was very different from the contracts he had received throughout most of his career. This wasn't simply an invitation to add another famous name to the squad. The Sharks wanted much more than a legendary player. They wanted a mentor. They wanted a leader. They wanted someone who could help transform promising young talents into future international stars. After carefully considering the proposal, Ma'a Nonu decided that this challenge represented something special and accepted the offer. His decision immediately generated excitement across the rugby world. The Sharks have become well known for recruiting established stars, but this signing carried a different meaning. Rather than bringing in a player solely to strengthen the starting lineup, the franchise invested in decades of elite-level knowledge and leadership. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the agreement is that reports suggest Ma'a Nonu did not join the Sharks for financial reasons. Despite the club's reputation for attracting high-profile players, the legendary All Black reportedly accepted a modest salary because he believed he could make a genuine difference to the team's future. That decision perfectly reflects the values that have defined his remarkable career. Throughout his journey, Ma'a Nonu has constantly reinvented himself. Early in his professional career, many critics described him as nothing more than a powerful crashball center who relied almost entirely on physical strength. Instead of allowing those opinions to define him, he worked tirelessly to expand every part of his game. His passing became more precise. His tactical kicking improved dramatically. His defensive awareness reached another level. His ability to read the game became exceptional. Most importantly, his leadership qualities developed year after year. By the latter stages of his international career, Ma'a Nonu had become one of rugby's most complete midfield players. He was no longer simply a powerful runner with the ball. He had become a complete playmaker capable of influencing every area of the game. That experience is exactly why the Sharks believe his arrival can accelerate the development of several exciting young players. Among those expected to benefit the most is rising center Jurenzo Julius. At just 22 years of age, Jurenzo Julius has already displayed enormous potential but has also faced fierce competition for a regular place in the Sharks starting lineup. Since former Springbok wing JP Pietersen became head coach, the talented youngster has enjoyed more opportunities in the inside center position. Now, Jurenzo Julius has the chance to learn every day from one of the greatest number 12s rugby has ever produced. For any young player, opportunities like this are incredibly rare. Every training session becomes a lesson. Every conversation becomes valuable. Every small piece of advice can influence an entire career. Whether discussing defensive organization, attacking decision-making, communication, or handling pressure during major matches, Ma'a Nonu brings knowledge gathered across more than 2 decades of elite rugby. Very few players have experienced as many World Cups, Rugby Championships, Super Rugby campaigns, European competitions, and international test matches as he has. Another player expected to gain enormously from this partnership is exciting Springbok back Ethan Hooker. Already recognized as one of South Africa's brightest young talents, Ethan Hooker now has a unique opportunity to observe the professionalism that has allowed Ma'a Nonu to remain competitive against world-class opposition well into his 40s. The biggest lessons may never be seen during a match. They happen in the gym. They happen during recovery sessions. They happen while analyzing game footage. They happen through conversations inside the dressing room. They happen through daily habits that create long-term success. These unseen moments often separate good professionals from truly great players. The Sharks clearly understand that philosophy. Earlier this year, the franchise completed a major review of its entire high-performance program. Following that review, several important changes were introduced to strengthen the organization from top to bottom. JP Pietersen was confirmed as the permanent head coach. Scott Matthew joined to oversee the attacking structures. Neil Powell accepted a new position focusing on junior rugby development. Dave Williams stepped into the newly created role of general manager. Together, these appointments signaled that the Sharks were determined to build long-term success rather than relying solely on expensive player recruitment. Within that strategy, the arrival of Ma'a Nonu makes perfect sense. His influence extends far beyond his performances on match day. He brings professionalism. He brings accountability. He brings discipline. He brings championship standards. He brings leadership that cannot be taught from textbooks. Those qualities are essential for any club hoping to compete consistently at the highest level. Sharks chief executive Sean Bryans explained exactly why the club was so eager to complete the signing. According to Sean Bryans, opportunities to welcome someone with Ma'a Nonu's experience do not come around very often. While his achievements on the field speak for themselves, it is his professionalism, leadership, and understanding of sustained excellence that will provide the greatest value to the squad over the coming months. Those comments reveal the real reason behind this transfer. This move is not simply about selling tickets. It is not just about attracting media attention. It is not only about adding another famous player to the squad. Instead, it is about creating an environment where young players can witness world-class standards every single day. Naturally, supporters are thrilled by the announcement. Even though Siya Kolisi has departed the Sharks, the arrival of a rugby icon like Ma'a Nonu gives fans another major reason to visit the stadium. His reputation alone guarantees interest from supporters across South Africa and beyond. For younger rugby fans, watching Ma'a Nonu continue competing at 44 years old is a powerful reminder that dedication, discipline, and constant improvement can extend a sporting career far beyond 4 decades.